Long ago lived an old man who went by the name of Fortis. He lived in a small village called Skull's Village, where he took the occupation as a brewer master. The old man would create advanced medicinal potions in which it would cure a person immediately with a proper amount of specific ingredients. He was working peacefully until a voice interrupted his work, informing him that his daughter has been placed under a lethal curse. Fortis quickly realized that it was the works of the cursed spirit and rushed to his home. Finally reaching his hut, finds his daughter floating over her bed, as her eyes glowed a bright blue and her entire body stiff and cold. Fortis nearly broke into tears, finding his daughter in this state. He wondered, why would she have to go through it? He knew he had to act quickly, or the cursed spell will devour her soul. He was thinking, and remembered a flower. A hot pink flower that was like no other. The most rarest flower in the world, only to be found on the tallest mountain on the peak. Fortis decided he will take on this quest in order to save his daughter from the evil curse. He begins to gather his supplies. He takes some herbal medicine along with some food, water, his cane, and his enchanted staff, and head towards the throat of the world, also known as the tallest mountain. Fortis knew perfectly his physical and mental strength would be tested on this journey. As he was climbing, he spotted a mysterious figure out by the rocks. "Who goes there? Show yourself," asked Fortis with desperation. The mysterious wanderer, whose face was hidden under a large hood, pointed up his wooden bow and drew back his arrow and aimed it towards Fortis. "What do you think you're doing?" exclaimed Fortis. "Why do you dare to travel around this mountain, stranger?" asked the stranger. "I need to retrieve something located at the top of this mountain, a rare pink flower that contains magical powers," answered Fortis. "Do you not know what dwells by this mountain? This mountain is not just any mountain. The higher you go, the harder it will become. Legend has it, the higher you go, the more mysterious it gets. Everything becomes an illusion. Also considering the terrible beasts located up there," informed the stranger to Fortis. "That does not matter to me. I will risk everything to save my daughter and liberate her from the cursed spell." The mysterious figure showed empathy and offered his help to Fortis so he could retrieve the flower. "I know my way around to the very top. You should follow me, and I will lead the way," said the stranger. Both men went up and up and up. They were exhausted and sore, and they have not even reached a quarter way. As they climbed, a sound interrupted them. A loud roar and heavy footsteps, quickly approaching but not knowing where it was coming from. The heavy footsteps got louder and louder, and they finally realized it was coming from a cave. Its red eyes were glowing in the night, everything hidden in the dark. The only thing that was heard was its heavy breathing and the insects at night. Later, the monster ran, charging at Fortis. The big, bulgy beast charging at them. He was as big as a tree, with a bull-like body standing on its hind legs, and big, thick, pointy horns, was charging at Fortis with full speed. Fortis, with his quick reaction, took out his enchanted staff and hit the bull-like creature. "Be careful with that minotaur!" exclaimed the stranger. Fortis ran around, trying to strike the minotaur, but it wasn't doing much damage because of his strength. Fortis had to think, but the beast with a strong figure limited his ideas. He looked around and noticed some loose rocks on the rock wall, and needed to get the minotaur under it. He yelled at the stranger to get the minotaur's attention so he could get to the rocks and crush him. The stranger shot the minotaur with the iron stinger and hit him with his iron decapitator, which made the monster mind the stranger. Fortis took the chance and climbed up the rocks with his staff. He smashed the weak points. The Minotaur was under it, so it was a perfect chance. Fortis gave the last blow, and all the boulders came tumbling down, till the only thing you could see was the beast's arms and the beast itself, crushed. They quickly made their way to the top. Suddenly, the higher they got, the more different the world seemed to them. The skies changed colors. There were green and orange lights in the sky, along with the mists of purple and blue. Fortis started hearing whispers in his ears, yelling and screaming and shrieking, started driving both men mad. The stranger informed Fortis to ignore the sounds, that the purpose was to drive someone insane. They both tried to ignore it, but Fortis was weakening. His head was spinning, and he couldn't handle the excessive sounds and agonizing shrieks. Fortis lost his mind and started yelling, wishing for it to end. He fell to his knees, losing all hope that he will not be able to save his daughter. He lied on the ground with tears. "I feel depressed and restless," said Fortis. The stranger had to help him and took Fortis by the arm and guided him. The stranger was suffering too, but tried to channel his emotions. Finally, out of the evil illusions, they made it to the top. Fortis, tired and exhausted, weak, had eyes for only one thing: the flower. He has found it. The flower, being as tall as him, surprised Fortis. The flower's sound was music to his ears. He quickly goes and retrieves some petals from the pink miracle. As he was picking, he heard a grunt in the background. He asked the stranger if everything was okay. There was no answer. He turned around and saw not only the stranger dead, with the ghost blade through his torso, but a large demonic ghost standing right behind him. He took his staff and charged at the ghost, but the ghost grabbed him by the throat and told Fortis, "I will not fight you and kill you. I want to see you suffer, right after my curse steals your daughter's soul." Fortis struggled to get loose. The ghost swung him and threw him off the mountain. Fortis, falling to his doom, ended up landing in a body of water. He survived and ran back home. He took the flower samples and created a potion, which he gave to his daughter. Her eyes stopped glowing and fell back onto her bed, and Fortis knew he has saved her. The end.